When your program uses input that comes from the user, such as an email address or a password, you'll need to decide, does this need to match exactly, such as a password? Or is this a situation where upper and lowercase letters don't matter? Here we have a program that asks the user for the name of an animal, and then it tries to figure out what sound it makes to display it back to them. So if the animal is a cat, it will say meow. If it's a dog, it will say ruff. Or if it's something else like a zebra or an octopus, I'm not really sure what sound they would make, so it'll just say unknown. Let's run this a few times. So I'm going to go ahead and run it, and I'll type in cat. The cat makes the sound meow. And I run it again, and I say dog. Sure enough, it says ruff. And then I can say zebra, and it says it makes the sound unknown. All right, so let's try this one more time. And this time I'm going to type cat with a capital C and see what happens. The cat makes the sound unknown. So obviously this isn't right. Let's see if we can fix it so that no matter whether they use upper or lowercase letters, it will still work correctly. One idea is that we could use or, like this. So I could say if animal equals cat with a capital T, and then I could say or animal equals cat with all caps, or animal is cat with a capital A. And this would work, but I think you can see that it's a bad idea because I would have to account for every possible variation. So let's get rid of all this here. Another idea would be to convert the variable to all uppercase or lowercase, and then we only have to check for that. So for example, I could add in here animal.lower is cat. And let's try this and see if I type cat with a capital A and a capital C there. The cat makes the sound meow, and it's figured that out. But you can probably see the problem. What if I check dog? It didn't work for that one yet. So if I want to use this approach, I would need to go through and do that for all of my if statements. So that does work, but it's a little bit of a pain to keep repeating it. A better approach would be to convert it once to lowercase at the very beginning. So instead of doing this like this, I can come up here and I can say animal underscore LC for lowercase is animal.lower. That way I'll have a new variable here that can store the lowercase version that we can use throughout. And then I'll need to come down here and change and use animal LC everywhere I go. Let's watch this with the debugger and see what happens. I'm going to set my breakpoint and I'm going to run the debugger. So the first thing I'll do is I'll type in cat in all capital letters. Notice that the animal variable is set to cat with capital letters. When I step over, I can see that animal lowercase has the lowercase version of this, so that now when I go through, it's checking animal lowercase against the value here, and everything works as I would expect. So this works, and if I want to keep the original variable around, perhaps I want to display the original way they typed it at the end, then this is a good approach. But if I really don't need the original version anymore, I can reassign that original variable name to have the lowercase version. For example, animal equals animal lower, like that. Now down here, I can update these to just use the animal. Now I want to debug this one more time and watch that happen. As I walk through here, I'll type in cat in all capitals, and you can see my variable over here, all capitals. Now when I step over, it updates that exact variable to be the lowercase version. Now, if we want, we could technically not use this line at all and instead put the .lower right here at the end of the input statement. And this would do it all in one line, and it's kind of nice, because we get to do that all on one line. But especially as you're getting started writing programs, I would recommend that you do it all on its own line. And this is actually nice because each line of code does one thing, and it makes it easier to track down problems later in your program. So this gives you a good technique for how to compare strings in your program.